Alright, welcome to Gun Club VR. In this video we'll be taking a look at the Sandbox feature or section of Gun Club VR. We're playing the Rift version, but we're playing on an Oculus Quest 2 through Virtual Reality Desktop. You can catch this video later at youtube.com/substatica, and you can catch me live at twitch.tv/substatica. Like, subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff is appreciated if you're enjoying the content. Let's get to it. Not too far into the game, maybe level 2 or 3, you unlock the sandbox shown up here on the map. All you gotta do is click on it and then start the event, and that's gonna dump you into basically the physics sandbox of Gun Club VR. Here we've got one of the default setups. To access the menu in the sandbox, you want to look at one of your hands. I think it's either hand or your off hand, because you set your hand in the options. So this is the menu we use to spawn props and weapons for use within the sandbox, as well as adjust some options. So the first thing I want to do is spawn a weapon. The vector, not necessarily the golden, I actually like the white vector, but the golden will do. We'll spawn one of those. So you select the weapon in here under weapons, click spawn, and it just shows up floating in front of you. We'll switch that to 2-round burst, give it a charge, and we're good to go at some of these targets already. This is one of the default setups. The sandbox comes loaded with a couple of defaults, but first word on using the menu. What I like to do to use these menus is grip my index trigger down, put my thumb on top of the controller so I get a nice pointy poking finger, and that's going to allow us to interact with the menu pretty well. You still end up pressing some things you didn't mean to, but at least your fingers aren't all waggling around there, and you can kind of see where that index finger is going. So to access the defaults is going to be under this kind of save load icon. Floppy disk, if you're not familiar with what that is, antiquated icon. So we can select one of these defaults. Default 1, click load map. That's this one. Default 2, slightly different. Default 3, default 4, and default 5. So those are the defaults that the game comes with. You also have some slots here to save your own setups once you've created them. So let's talk about what's in the sandbox here. We've got this main area, which is intended for you to set up props and some other equipment that we'll get into a bit later. Then we have, on this side, we have a workbench where you can assemble your attachments and customize the firearms. And we also have more traditional shooting range over here with paper targets and distance control and reset and all that stuff. This is rather self-explanatory. We're not really going to focus on this. We also have a table here with some other weapons, grenades and knives, which are also pretty self-explanatory. So you can either access your weapons through the menu here, and then you can access them over here as well to add attachments and such. So maybe we'll add a laser to our vector. So you select the item, click spawn, and it just shows up there. We can grab it and attach it to one of the rails on the vector. So on the other side, we have the Breakables area of the sandbox. Right now we have some concrete pillars set up. So you can experiment on taking these out in any way you see fit. And then once you've had your fun with them, you can reset them through the menu, which is down here. The little explosion symbol. We've got the concrete pillars are selected. We can go reset destruction. The other breakables are, or destructible shapes. We've got concrete wall, which shows up over there. Reload. We've got the concrete pillars, which we saw. We got the T-Rex here. If you want to take on a cement dinosaur, concrete dinosaur. And then we've got a horse ice sculpture, which is just begging to be shot up. Wow, impressive. Sorry about that. Old Black Beauty there. Okay, so you can also reset that horse if we wanted to, have another go at it. And then over here, there's just a dark, damp section for, I don't know, interrogations or something. So that's the basic areas of the sandbox. Nice high ceiling in this missile silo. But the real entertaining part of the sandbox is with the props. So we have in our menu a bunch of props listed with this list at the top. We've got barrels, food, boxes, bricks, dining, targets, miscellaneous weapons, some plinking targets, and devices. We'll get to devices in a second, but for props, anything you want to place, you just select it, and then you're going to place with the trigger, or aim with the trigger, I should say. This isn't placing it yet. That's showing you where it's going to be placed. And then use your analog stick to turn it or to orient it, and then press the button to actually place the object. It can be kind of tricky to stack, but you know, there are some intricacies or eccentricities of this mode that take a little getting used to, and then some you just have to accept. So that's barrels, food. Then of course all this is has the physics engine attached to it. So I'm not sure I can get low enough to pick up this apple, but oh yeah, there we go. So this game's not really meant for picking up objects and throwing them, but you certainly can. For me, that's not what the sandbox is for. And obviously, things are destructible. That is what the sandbox is for. So with the boxes, you can actually make some pretty large... well, this is the small box. So we want the large box. With the large box, you can kind of make pretty good structures if you wanted to make a path. Sort of action course for you to navigate. But let's get on to some other things. So weapons we talked about. Some of the special things are in here. We've got gravity strength, so we actually can switch gravity from Earth to space and anything in between. You can see up there we can adjust it, like I said, anything in between. And if we were to... what can we spawn that's going to have gravity down? Try to knock something over with gravity down. I'm not sure how well it's going to work because everything's kind of already... there, we got a box floating. Let's go over there for a closer look. So turning off gravity, obviously can be fun. We've got little rockets that you can attach to things. So let's attach a rocket to that barrel, and that rocket's just going to make it do crazy things. Are we out? We're out. I think we lost our laser sight. That's fine though. Lots of floating beer bottles. So obviously zero gravity is pretty fun. What else do we have in here? Rope. So you can attach things with rope, which is you aim the rope at one thing, press to anchor it, and then you aim it at another thing and press to anchor it, and then you got two things attached with ropes, or with a rope. Now we can attach a rocket to one of them. Is that not firing? Activate on spawn. Yes, let's do that. So now we got, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but it's going to happen. So it's kind of hard to imagine all the things you could do with rope and rockets and props. You could have a rocket apple dragging a watermelon, I suppose, and then entertain yourself with shooting them. It's what everyone wants in their Gun Club VR, quite obviously. One of the other more entertaining things about the Sandbox here, it's one I've been kind of leaving, not for last, but for until now at least, is in props there's devices, and we have the prop cannon. So this is going to shoot whatever we put in it. So here we have our prop cannon. You can adjust the angle that it's going to shoot the props out at by just walking up and kind of moving that lever. It's acting kind of odd at zero gravity, but that's fine. Just move over here. Oh, this is turning into a silly place. Okay, to load the prop cannon, what you want to do is select the prop you want it to launch. So we'll go to food. You know, watermelons and pumpkins are some of the most entertaining and classic. So we should have it loaded with a pumpkin. Now to control the prop cannon, you have to go to our settings here, our screwdriver and wrench, and we switch to the cannon section. And here we have one. You can have up to 5 prop cannons, and we've got one, and it's currently loaded with pumpkins, or a pumpkin. We've got a power we can adjust here, as well as a delay, and then you just start, and it will start launching pumpkins for us to take out. We also have, how come it stopped? I must have pressed stop by mistake. The other kind of unique prop that we have is a shot timer under devices. So we can place a shot timer. Is that going to be facing us? And what this does is it just gives us this time between shots. We can set the delay to start, and it'll beep when it starts. So we can set this to, we'll just leave it at 3 seconds actually. Start. That's going to count to 3, and then it's going to start timing our shots. See, yeah. I don't use the shot timer much, but it's there for those who want to. Okay, so that's kind of an overview of the options available. It's mesmerizing in the Sandbox. The shot cannon can be tricky to load if you don't realize that there's 5 of them, and you may have dropped 2 on the map by mistake and only loaded 1, and in that case you're going to have to look through the different prop cannons here and see which one is actually loaded with your prop. Okay, those are options for the rockets, gravity. So let's look at some of the presets that I've got going. I think I might have to let's turn gravity on for a second, and everything falls. Fun's over, guys. And we'll stop the prop cannon for a second, and we'll load up a preset or two that I have. Okay, so let's go to our saves. Save 0, load map. There we go. We've got a nice dinner set up for 2. Some beer. We're going to share an apple. Maybe have some tea. And another thing you can do in the Sandbox is practice your table flipping skills. And rage out on dinner in other ways. And then, you know, if you want a do-over, all you gotta do is open back up, load map, and we're back. Never happened. Nobody's angry about nothing. All right. What else can we do? So let's load that back up again. Load map, and we'll maybe turn off the gravity. Oh. Where do you think you're going? It's getting eerie in here. Okay, let's try that again. Can we? What happens when we reload right now? They all start floating up again? Okay. What can we spawn? Misc weapons. Can I just spawn a grenade in my hand? I don't usually use grenades that much. Whoa, too far. Place a couple of those down there. There we go. Oh, dinner's spoiled again. Gonna be a lot of spoiled dinners. Well, it's back. Groundhog Day sort of thing. All right, so that's dinner ruined yet again. Let's load up another one. Did I put anything here? Yes. Here we've got our 5-cannon salute of food. And we're out. And if things really... Whoa, easy there, bud. And want to really let things off the hook is just turn off gravity and enjoy the show. I'm not used to shooting flying food with no gravity, so pardon me if I'm not very accurate. Hey, things are falling again. What happened there? No, we want space. Yeah, you end up touching the menu when you didn't intend to. So let's put some maybe rockets on some of our fruit. Let's see if we can actually place one. Everything's moving too fast. There, we got a rocket pumpkin over there. There you go, we get a couple rocket pumpkins going. There's one. And then, you know, you can spend your days shooting nefarious rocket fruit. So there you have it. Just a couple things that you can do in the sandbox here. The possibilities are pretty endless, given the gravity, the props, the ropes, the launchers, the weapons. You can catch this video later at youtube.com/Substatica. And you can catch me live at twitch.tv/Substatica. Like I said, like, subscribe, share, follow, all that good stuff is appreciated. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have fun in your Gun Club VR sandbox. And we'll catch you next time.